3 people are dead, and right now more than 40 people are being monitored after a rare hantavirus outbreak connected to a cruise ship. Now, before you panic, listen carefully. This is not another COVID situation. Health officials say the overall risk to Americans is still low, but if you are over 60, especially if you have a garage, a basement, a shed, or a storage room, there is one mistake you need to avoid, because millions of people make this mistake without even thinking. They see mouse droppings and they grab a vacuum cleaner. That one decision can send dangerous particles directly into the air you breathe. And today, I'm going to show you exactly what to do instead, what symptoms to watch for, who is most at risk, and the simple cleaning mistake doctors say you should never make. Stay with me, because this information could protect someone in your family. Welcome back to Healthy After 60. On this channel, we talk about real health topics that matter for people our age. Not fear, not internet panic, just practical information that can help you stay safe and healthy. And before we begin, write this phrase in the comments: no vacuum. By the end of this video, you'll understand exactly why those 2 words matter. Also, please share this video with a friend or family member over 60, because many people still have no idea how hantavirus exposure actually happens. And that's the dangerous part. Here's what happened. In early May of 2026, health officials began investigating a cluster of severe illness linked to the cruise ship MV Hantavirus. Several passengers became seriously sick. 11 cases were identified. And sadly, 3 people died. The virus involved was identified as Andes Hantavirus, a rare strain associated with rodents in parts of South America. Some passengers returned home before the situation was fully understood, so health authorities began monitoring exposed travelers. In the United States, more than 40 people were placed under medical monitoring. Now, let me say something important again. Officials are not saying this is the next pandemic. They are not saying Americans should panic. The overall public risk remains low. But here is why this matters, because hantavirus itself already exists in America, and most American cases do not come from cruise ships. They come from something much more ordinary: rodents, mouse droppings, mouse urine, and contaminated dust. Remember that. If you're over 60, this matters more than it would for a younger person. As we age, the lungs become more vulnerable. The immune system changes, and recovery from a severe respiratory illness becomes harder, especially for people with heart disease, diabetes, COPD, asthma, kidney problems, or weakened immunity. Now, hantavirus is still considered rare, but when it becomes serious, it can become serious very quickly. In some cases, the lungs begin filling with fluid, breathing becomes difficult, blood pressure can drop dangerously low, and this is exactly why prevention matters so much, not fear. Prevention. Now we get to the most important part of this video. I want you to really remember this. Imagine this. You walk into your garage or basement or shed. You notice small mouse droppings on the floor. Most people immediately do one thing. They grab a broom, or worse, a vacuum cleaner. Please do not do that. Do not vacuum rodent droppings. Do not sweep them dry, because when dry droppings are disturbed, tiny contaminated particles can become airborne, and then you breathe them in. That is one of the main ways hantavirus exposure happens. So remember this phrase: spray before you touch. Say it again: spray before you touch. Here's the safer way to clean rodent droppings. Step 1, Open windows and doors. Leave the area for at least 30 minutes. Let fresh air move through the room. Step 2, put on gloves. And if the area is dusty or enclosed, wear an N95 mask. Step 3, spray the droppings thoroughly with disinfectant. You can use a bleach solution or another approved disinfectant. The important thing is this: the area must become wet before cleaning. Let the disinfectant sit for several minutes. Step 4, use paper towels to wipe everything up carefully. Place all waste into a sealed plastic bag. Step 5, disinfect nearby surfaces. Then wash your hands thoroughly with soap and warm water, even if you wore gloves. And again, remember the rule: spray before you touch. Now let's make this very clear. Do not vacuum droppings. Do not sweep them dry. Do not shake dusty rugs indoors. Do not use leaf blowers. Do not pick up nests with bare hands. And if you discover a large infestation, do not try to clean everything yourself. Call professionals, especially if you're older or have health problems. Your lungs are not something to gamble with. Now let's talk about symptoms. This part matters. Early hantavirus symptoms often look like the flu: fever, chills, muscle aches, fatigue, headache, nausea, stomach pain. Many people think, I probably just caught a virus, but then things can suddenly change: shortness of breath, chest tightness, difficulty breathing, extreme weakness. This is when hantavirus becomes dangerous, and in severe cases, the condition can worsen very quickly. So if you were exposed to rodents or cleaned a contaminated area recently and then developed these symptoms, call your doctor immediately and specifically mention possible hantavirus exposure. Those words matter. There's currently no routine vaccine for hantavirus, and there is no simple antiviral pill people take at home. Treatment focuses on supportive medical care, oxygen support, IV fluids, careful monitoring, and intensive care if needed. The earlier someone gets medical attention, the better the chances of managing complications, which is exactly why early recognition matters. The best protection is preventing rodent exposure in the first place. Seal holes around the home. Store food properly. Keep garages and sheds clean. Avoid clutter where mice can nest. Keep wood piles away from the house. And address rodent problems early. One small mouse problem can become a much bigger problem later. So let's bring everything together. No, health officials are not saying hantavirus will become another COVID pandemic. The overall risk remains low, but hantavirus is real. It already exists in the United States, and people over 60 should know how exposure happens. So remember the 3 most important things from today's video. Number 1, never vacuum rodent droppings. Number 2, spray before you touch. And number 3, if you develop fever, body aches, or breathing problems after rodent exposure, call your doctor immediately. If this video helped you, please share it with someone you care about, a neighbor, a friend, a parent, a grandparent, and write "no vacuum" in the comments. I read every single one. Stay healthy, stay informed, and I'll see you in the next video.